Here.
Eagle.
Here.
Gilda.
Here.
Clausen. Payne.
Here.
Rosenshredder. Schmidt.
Here.
Starr.
Here.
State.
Here.
Trevino.
Here.
Wiggins.
Here.
17-0.
To keep with past practices, we're gonna move the agenda around a little bit. The first order of business is gonna be appointment of Derek Spudich.
I'll make a motion. Second. We're gonna.
Motion's made and seconded to appoint Derek Spudich as the next board member. All, let's do a roll call.
Adden.
Yes.
Armour.
Yes.
Barr.
Yes.
Blank.
Yes.
Dragovich.
Yes.
Dunnigan.
Yes.
Everson.
No.
Keel.
Yes.
Kilduff.
Present.
Clausing.
Yes.
Payne.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Starr.
Yes.
State.
Yes.
Trevino.
Yes.
Wiggins.
No.
I'm sorry, what'd you say, Tom? No, okay.
Chairman, should we allow these other people to speak prior
This
to?
is what we've done in past precedents with this. That way we
This
get
is
the director, we
ridiculous.
Swear them in, and you can get right to business on this meeting.
Cowards.
You guys are cowards, for real, like fucking cowards. Let's
Okay.
go. I'm done. Just let him, and he can keep bullying and harassing women online, and I will stay on your ass. So sick of this fucking board.
So just to point out for those that are interested, in September of '03, when Annie Menard replaced Beverly Bernoulli, it was done before, right after the roll call. March 2011, when John Gay replaced Michael Zippy, it was done right after the roll call. In May 2020, Chai Pilo replaced Mike Tranner, it was done right after the roll call. February 2023, Molly Rosenshredder replacing Charlie Siegel, it was done right after the roll call. That's how it's been done. That's under 4 different chairmen. That's just past practice.
We haven't changed that. Those are final vote.
The final vote is 14 yeses, 2 noes, and 1 present.
Okay. Congratulations, Derek, you wanna come up, and are you ready to swear him in good?
I am.
Okay, come on up, please.
Please repeat after me. I state your name,
I, Derek Spudich,
having been appointed to the office
having been appointed to the office
of County Board Member
of County Board Member
in the County of Macoupin
in the County of Macoupin,
in the state of Illinois,
in the state of Illinois,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
of America
of America
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the state of Illinois,
of the state of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of County Board Member
of County Board Member
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability. Thank you.
Thank you. Take your seat.
Derek.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to the approval of the county board minutes at this time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
County board minutes. approval.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion's made and approved is to approve the county board minutes from the February meeting. Any discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Economic Development Committee reports.
So we discussed, a few things that will be later discussed in the meeting, property north of Carlinville, contracting some grant writers and federal funds from Indivisible. And then the one item that won't be discussed later, we can get an update on grants from Joseph, who's a grant writer. He is working on preparing a youth employment grant, some of the federal funds, grants from County Women's Services Office and city audit and grants in addition to the other ones he's working on. So end of that report.
Motion to approve that report.
Make a motion to approve.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Building and Grounds Committee.
Yeah, I mean,
we didn't have much, we had a couple items on there, they're all pretty much self-explanatory. I'll probably just, y'all can read the minutes unless there's somebody that has any questions. Motion approved?
Second.
Motion's made, second and approved, to accept the, Building and Grounds Committee. Any discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Finance Committee,
We had the Veterans Administration come in and look at our requesting some funds. And there was, really, they didn't have enough information for us at the time, so we're doing some further research on that to see what our obligation is. So that'll be forthcoming. And then Pete reviewed the mid-year budget, and again, we're always on a tight budget this year. That's gonna be said time and time again, and I think everybody knows that, so we've gotta watch our spending, and then we've got a few resolutions coming up in the rest of the meeting, in the report.
motion accept? Second. Any discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Road and Bridge Committee,
Yes, we didn't get the minutes, turned in, so we're gonna have to prove them next month, right, Pete?
Next month, yeah.
Okay, but I wanna tell you what we discussed a little bit. We do have a minor subdivision, which we're gonna talk about later and maybe vote on. And Aaron Cole's gonna take care of that. And then, we deemed with the, 911 in the township, we deemed to go to 65 to 100, and we also sent letters out, and also an agreement with the government agreement, and see if we can pick up a few more. We do have 6 that wants to do it, and we do have a name that we're going to check out details and see if he will do the ones that we can't get done. Anything you wanna add on that? But otherwise, that's all we got.
okay,
But we're working on it.
okay, good. End of report? Second.
Next month.
Oh,
Yeah.
Pardon?
We need to do those next month, but Tom didn't give them to me in time to get them to you
Okay,
guys, so,
we-
yeah, we'll do
Yeah,
it
we
next
just
month.
report
He
over
went to
it.
Florida for his son's strategy to get punched in, right? Technology, you gotta love it.
General Administrative Committee,
Yes, of course, we, approved the agenda and, the agenda to the full board. And then, we also, tabled the, Staunton ambulance Bunker Hill annual audit because we hadn't had a chance to look at it, in depth, so, and then we discussed a few other things, and, we also discussed the, data center, and then we moved that to the full board. That's all I got.
Motion approved?
second. Any discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, we're going to change, deviate from the established agenda again. On unfinished business, we're gonna bring that up, so the lady from the audit can give her presentation and not have to sit for the whole meeting.
Hi, I am Cara Fuller. I'm with Shuffle Boyle. We perform the county's audit as well as clerk and the commissary fund as well here. This year, I don't know if you guys brought your reports back, the ones that were on the finance committee, but the box of reports is not in here to hand out the additional ones, so you guys will just have to follow along with me. Anyway, I'm gonna start with the SAS 114 letter, and if you do have your bound copy from last week from the finance committee, it is the 2-page letter that says we've audited the financial statements of the governmental activities. This states that your guys' financials were neutral, clear, consistent. It goes through any difficulties that we had with management. Of course, we had none. We tend to have a great time working with, Amber and Pete. It says that all adjustments were agreed upon and approved before issuance of the report. It says, once more, we had no disagreements with management in performing this audit. And this also has a restriction of use on it. It's not meant to be publicly issued. However, if you guys choose to issue it on your website, that's fair game for you. I'm going to start with the first opinion letter that is on page 1 through 3 of your guys' reports. If you you have, it doesn't look like really anyone does it. So, anyway, this is the independent auditor's report. It's one of 3 that you guys have this year. It says that you guys received an unmodified opinion, which is the best that you can receive and the best we're able to give you. It has 2 emphasis and matter paragraphs. One of them is an emphasis and matter paragraph going over the basis of accounting that the county uses, and that is the modified cash basis. And we have to include this paragraph in here just because it's not full GAAP financial statements, which is pretty consistent across many of the counties that we do audit. Nothing out of the norm on there. The other emphasis of matter paragraph just states that the health department's not included within your guys' financial report, and that is because the health department does operate on full GAAP financials, so they're full accrual, and it just wouldn't match up and be comparable to the county's financials itself. So the next paragraph that we go over is the supplementary information. It says that we review it. It does compare to the financials in total. However, we don't perform separate audit procedures on it. Then it has the other information paragraph, and that just says that the schedule's included, and there's the tax rates and distributions. And this is just informational. We perform no audit work on that. We just compile information provided by the county. The next report that we go over is what we commonly call the Yellow Book report, and this is due to state and federal funding received in total. The threshold's fairly low for that, so the county does have this year to year. This is the governmental audit standards report. It states that we've considered the county's internal controls, and that's processes over like review of cash, review and handling of cash, and how they issue checks, receive funds, and things of that matter. We take those into consideration when performing the audit and doing or planning it. It says that you guys have no material weaknesses, which is the worst finding that you could have, and that's wonderful. You have 3 significant deficiencies and 1 compliance finding, and all 4 of these actually are very common that we see for governmental entities of this size. One of them is the preparation of your financial statements. This is just honestly, it's not super financially feasible for governmental entities of this size to hire someone to prepare the financial statements, to provide them to us to get rid of this finding. That's what it would take. Usually it's pretty costly to do so, or you have to hire someone on staff that would be able to prepare them. Once more, that can be pretty costly as well. The next one is that the county doesn't maintain a depreciation statement. That's pretty common as well. We do the maintenance on that, which means that we just book and dispose of any assets that you guys have, and that is to show proper financial statements for you guys. It says the next one, it kind of goes in conjunction with that first one. It says that you guys have auditor prepared journal entries, and that's that we prepare journal entries for you guys to review and to post. However, you guys do agree upon them before posting, but we still have to do the finding because we're the ones preparing them. And the 4th finding, which was a compliance finding, this just says that you guys were actually not over budget on the funds that you guys budgeted for, but there were several funds that just weren't budgeted for, and in that sense, you guys were over budget on those. However, that one is one that you can remedy year to year, or it can change year to year. Having said that, all you have to do is really just submit a budget for those ones, get them approved, and if you guys have expenditures in that fund, then it would cover it, and we wouldn't have a finding. But once more, that's pretty common. Usually, have several funds within different entities of this size that do go over budget or that might be missed. It does tend to be a little bit time consuming for governmental entities to kind of do that review process before their fiscal year end. The final audit opinion that we are going to go over is the 3rd report, and it's in the back of these financial statements, and it's a single audit report. And a single audit report we have to do because the county spent over $750,000 in federal funding during their fiscal year 25, and that is that ARP funding that they received during 22-23 during COVID, and they've been working on spending the few millions of dollars that were received in that time period over the last fiscal years. This one you guys commonly don't have unless you have some large federal grant come in that you guys do spend, and once more, it's been pretty common across almost all of our governmental entities that they've had single audits since COVID because of these funds. Having said that, it discusses what management's responsibility is with handling these grant funds and performing the proper processes so that we can account for those being done whenever we perform our audit over it. It discusses that we must obtain reasonable assurance of compliance within the grant, exercise professional judgment over the grant that we tested, And, we must obtain understanding of the county's internal controls over the grant funds and the grant reporting before performing the single audit itself. This one, you guys also got a clean opinion on. All three of your guys' reports were clean opinions, which is wonderful, and that's very common for you guys. I do go over a couple of highlights within the income statement and balance sheet. So the balance sheet for you guys this year, you had a decrease in cash investments of roughly $3 million. Now it's pretty consistent with what we expected because you're still working on spending that ARP funds. You guys spent like $2.7 million this year in ARP funds, so it seems to reason that your cash decreased by nearly $3 million as well. You guys did have a decrease in your property tax revenue this year, and that was because in '24 there were several large distributions that were kind of catch-up distributions from prior years that were just undistributed until fiscal year '24. So '25 it showed a big decrease because it was distributing only what had been collected. Now, having said that, some of the funds that were collected in '25 just weren't distributed by fiscal year end, so next year we do expect to see a small increase in those property taxes that are sent out, just as finishing up the 25's collections, sending out in 26's year. Your guys' expenses did increase by 1.2 million. Now, part of that is due to a payroll cost increase of just over $200,000. And I know that sounds like a lot, but for a county of your guys' size with the employees or the staff that you guys have, that $5 million between the Lotus Fund and the Highway Department Fund for the Lotus Road use reimbursement that was received this year. And another $100,000 wind farm permits that was received from the general fund. Other revenue items were pretty consistent year to year, saw a little fluctuation or no in some of those areas. However, this year we did see a pretty good size increase in your guys' interest earned. That was just over $100,000, which is, fantastic to see. And as I stated, other expenses other than your guys' capital outlay and payroll was, which, payroll really wasn't that big of a fluctuation, but that's the biggest fluctuation you have other than capital outlay this year. But all other expense categories remain pretty consistent for the county, which is wonderful. It shows that you guys really do track and try to monitor your spending throughout the year, which is fantastic. So unless anyone else has any questions for me, that wraps up what I had for you guys today.
Pete, with everybody getting put together, are we gonna be able to get rid of this prep for audit?
So that will not help with that finding.
Okay.
But it will hopefully help with, when Cara asks us for information, we should have all the funds in the same system, so we can give her one file instead of multiple. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
No questions, thank you very much.
Awesome, yes. Okay, well, if anyone does think of anything, feel free to shoot them to Pete, he can reach out, or you guys can call us directly. So, all right, thank you guys.
Thank you. We'll continue on with guests, Andrea, Duncan.
Those of you who don't know, this is my mother, and I am so excited that after 40 years, I finally get to put her on a clock.
And because he said that, I will take my time. I've given an update on the energy transition grant, and Macoupin County received $20,000 through the energy transition grant to enhance tourism throughout the county. So the bulk of the money is been designated for advertising in the Great Rivers and Routes Visitor Guide, which is Go Guide. Probably almost everybody here has seen that. Unfortunately, the deadline for this season's Go Guide had already passed, and it's already in the printers, or at the printers. So we will be in next season's Go Guide, our advertisements. The rest of the money will be used to promote various tourism sites and events throughout the county, and we're gonna do that. We talked about doing it through pamphlets and rack cards, and of course we haven't decided any of that. We've only really met once. So those are things we're looking at. And we will meet with the Economic Development Committee to share updates as needed when we need that. But I need your help. So one thing we'd like for you to do is to, go back to your constituents and see if they have any events, be it fairs or, festivals, homecomings, Christmas markets. And what we wanted to do, Great Rivers and Routes, you can get online and you could submit the different activities, and they will put it on their, website. So I have the website here, and, according to them, it doesn't matter how big or how small, they wanna hear about all of them. So on the back of the little handout that I gave you, I was amazed when I looked it up. This is a list of all the different categories, which is really a pretty darn good list. So I'm sure there is someplace, somewhere in the county that can go into these, different areas. And all you have to do is you, pick a category, and it can be more than one category. And then you have to write like a little description of what the event is. And then the date, the time, the address, and the contact person's information. So there really isn't a whole lot to do it, but for us, it would be hard to go around the county and pick up everybody and make sure that we hadn't forgotten anybody. So we thought that if you could help us out by taking maybe to your, if you have a chamber of commerce, that type of thing, or if you have these festivals and things you probably know in your area, who's in charge and who to talk to. And if you have any questions, you can contact Harry Stark.
A whole minute 41 left.
Okay, questions?
I said I was, yeah.
Anybody that's got, people in the various districts, they know of an event, do they send that information to,
Us, no.
okay, so
They have to do it, when we first talked about it, we talked about having them send it to us.
Right.
But according to this, you have to have the contact person, and so they want the person in the town, so I guess so that, I just don't get up in the middle of the night some nights, decide that I'm gonna do festivals in every little nook and cranny of Macoupin County, just make them up. So this way you have to contact.
so I mean, say like, Mark knows somebody in his district, and so he goes to the website, or whomever, and,
Yeah, that person.
okay, and that contact person.
Yeah, it's very easy to do.
And then they enter in the information and,
Yes.
yeah, I mean,
That's the way I read it.
doesn't get any easier than that, really.
Yeah. I mean, I am fascinated by the categories that they have, because I wasn't expecting, as a matter of fact, in my mind, some of these weren't really events that I was thinking of.
Andrea, since, you said on here that it is the seasons field guide, is it like broke up into like fall, winter, spring, or do you know how they do their seasons by any chance?
I do.
Okay.
I do know that,
I just,
I do know that they have one in the fall, because they do the Christmas and that type of thing.
What's your 5 minutes? I'm just following the rules.
Now he follows.
You can take that up with him.
Aaron, did you have a question?
Oh,
No, don't let me get
This will be real quick, then. Is there a time limit on when you can enter this information?
I didn't see, and it was on Facebook, how we first found out about it, there's a little thing on Facebook. If you're on Facebook and you're on Great Rivers and Routes, I'm assuming that there probably isn't, because there'd be people maybe that would have Christmas, markets and that type of thing. So, and if you have anything in the county that needs to be, special marked as a tourist site, let us know. Again, Harry Stark, he's the president.
Good luck on supper tonight.
Dean DeVries?
Yeah, I'm with the
Mary
Staunton.
Ann's property tax exempt, you wanna come on up here?
Okay. I didn't know. What I got is,
back in September, our office manager got a phone call from a John Brestman. I guess he's the supervisor of assessments. And he kind of told our office manager that if we didn't pay the property taxes on our property down there in the ambulance building, they were going to publish it in the paper and go up for taxes sale. And she got nervous, she couldn't get a hold of me, so she ran up to the bank and forwarded $2,925 to pay the property taxes to get it done. Well, we've been a municipality down here since 1977 and have never paid property taxes. And most municipalities don't. And we just wanna know, we're fighting with the state now and trying to get our money back and try to prove that we're non-taxable. We're a 501c3, I believe, tax exempt, yeah. And I just didn't know if the board had any comments, or I know Pete told me to probably take it up with the assessor, but, I just wanted the board to know what was going on and see if anybody had any answers for it.
I saw the instruction sheet on that, and, it's pretty well laid out, what the ambulance board needs to do as far as.
Yeah,
the
it is, but we're still, that was in December 9th, and they're still throwing the loops around us.
Okay. Do you have everything submitted that you think you need to submit?
Well, no, they keep coming up with more.
Okay.
And we got the list, and our office manager has sent all of that to these people in the state.
Okay.
And we're still.
I'll check with the, John President, and see what he's got going on with that.
Yeah, so, I mean, and Amber does us a great job, she's always makes sure we get our money. We, well, just our concern. Okay. Thank you for your time, thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
I can tell you a little bit, it's because you guys didn't get all your paperwork in, you have to fill out, it has to be filed every time, and it wasn't brought in. Order of you to get our job, you had to move it on. So if that paperwork ain't in there, then you don't get it.
Okay.
Is it done every year? Every year.
Tax exempt?
Yeah, you gotta do the same thing like for when you're over 65, and you get that exemption, you have to,
Yeah, but this is the first year we paid taxes.
that's because you didn't get the paperwork in prior in time.
So if we need to get hold of, this not happen again, how would you handle it?
Oh, I gotta talk to John.
All right, thank you.
Do you know what the end date is on that? Tony, you don't know what the, last date is to have that done?
I'm not offhand, I wanna say it was 1st of March, but I'm not for sure on the exact date.
Okay.
Or they will be behind another year,
I think we need to get it in for next year, I don't know what the up is for that.
All right, I'll let our director and the
John
office
would-
manager know.
Yeah, John would know.
Thanks, Don. Thank you all.
On with the guests, Charles, I believe she left. James Clyde.
Quick question before I start my prepared speech. You provided 4 excellent examples of where the procedure had been the same as what occurred this evening. When you were looking at those notes, did you see any guest speakers to address that nomination?
I can't say that I looked down that far.
Okay, I'm gonna guess that it was 0. And also, there were 10 people here to see what was going to happen regarding this nomination. So I just wanna reiterate, I think not only did the board members get shafted, but the county got shafted on the the way that happened. To get back to my actual prepared statement, thank you, Chairman, and to the board. I was not planning to speak at the meeting this month, primarily out of respect to what is in some regards a somber meeting with the sudden passing of board member Gordon Howard. It is a matter of concern, however, regarding his nomination for replacement that brings me before you today. If you've been active on the local Facebook groups, the nominee is likely no stranger to you. Over the years, he could be found regularly engaging in both local and regional Facebook pages, especially during election cycles. He first came under my radar during COVID when I was the primary caretaker for my father, who was quarantined for prepping and dealing with a kidney transplant. The nominee could be regularly found berating the local health department, COVID numbers, which is where, at the best of my recollection, we first engaged online. As a scientist, I regularly fact-checked the COVID medical misinformation and attempted to counter the eroding confidence of our local and federal health departments that this nominee regularly engaged in online. I also recall his online presence during the 2020 election when he mercilessly harassed and bullied political figures online. One such comment referring to Sissy Voyes, then county board member, quote, as our dumbest elected official, unquote, the nominee replied, quote, that wasn't true until the last board meeting. The one they appointed as the other Staunton member takes the cake, but she was appointed, not elected, so I guess you were right. The nominee was referring to the county board member, Chi Palo. Another example, when asked online who replaced Mike Tranter's seat on the county board, the nominee responded, quote, I wanted to give you a clue, and I swear this is the first GIF that popped up, featuring a pig with the name Chi on it. In a different post, he referred to Chi's nomination as trash. I saw Chi's post addressing what she felt was harassing behavior by the nominee. I saw the replies on her post from the other women that stated they too felt harassed by the nominee. Last October, on Aaron Staton's run Macoupin County Republican Facebook page, the nominee was on the topic of Chi again and said, quote, Chi is MAGA compared to the new Staunton liberals out there. They seem crazy enough that I consider carrying wherever I go for self-defense. But I wouldn't want that pesky gun to be in its holster and it goes off on its own. That comment drew 5 concerned citizens to the next Staunton school board meeting to speak against the nominee, the sitting school board member, for making jokes about discharging firearms around lefties. One of whom called out the nominee for laughing while her mother addressed the board. Yeah, the in closing was, don't vote for this guy, but hey, that's out of our hands now, right? Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Kelley Hatlee. I'm from Gillespie, and I'm here representing Macoupin County Indivisible. We are a nonpartisan, pro-democracy group, and I'm glad I attended today because our democratic process should have been followed. And Pete, I appreciate you giving us the precedence and sharing that with us. However, we had 3 people on the agenda to speak about Derek's appointment, and we were not given that chance. So I'm glad I showed up today. I'm going to read the questions that I had prepared anyway, and I don't want to hear any answers because you've already given me your answers. I want you to answer these for yourself. You've just heard about Derek's history of bullying members of the community, who, by the way, don't share his political beliefs, making thinly veiled threats to shoot people who don't share his political beliefs, which then sparked public outcry at a school board meeting. I ask you, what is the process and logic behind even considering an individual with a history, a pattern of this kind of behavior? And we're not talking about one mistake, we're talking about a pattern. So why not leave the position open until a suitable candidate can be considered? And John, don't get excited, we're going somewhere with this. Will you please share with me John Blank's vote on Derek?
He's yes.
Yes. The last time I was here was for the Charlie Kirk Day, which became the resolution against political violence. And you stood right back there, and I admired you for what you said, okay? Because you said we need to lower the temperature in Macoupin County. Sorry?
Full board must be addressed, not an
Okay, all right. Board, when I was here the last time, John Blank stood back there and said we need to lower the temperature in Macoupin County because there's political violence happening in our country, and he said it's going to arrive here in Macoupin County if we don't turn the temperature down. Well, congratulations, John, you were right. Because people who promote political violence.
You're still gotta address the whole board meeting.
The people who promote political violence have arrived, and they're now sitting in this room with us, serving on this board. So congratulations, John, you were right. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt because you didn't get to hear us speak first. I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt that you didn't know about Derek's comments before you cast that vote, okay? Because I trust you with that, and I hope that you didn't know about that.
Sir, you're over the.
I hope that John didn't know about it. Because if he did, I would hope that he would search his heart for which way he voted after having given that great comment about how we need to lower the temperature. The next question I have is, if Derek is appointed, what is the board's plan as a governing body or as individual elected officials, in an election year, by the way, to maintain integrity and respectability for the offices to which you have been elected? Because right now, I've lost respect for this board. So I ask you, what are you going to do to try to claw back the respectability of this office? What is the board's plan if and when, or when, Derek behaves inappropriately while in this office? What's your plan? Whose decision, I'm assuming it's the chair, whose decision is it to change the order of the agenda? Who made that decision?
Board decision.
So everybody did?
I'm not.
Somebody made the decision, who was it?
Yeah, this is.
Mr. Duncan's not a person to answer a question.
Will someone please answer me, who made the decision today to not let people who showed up to speak be heard?
Again, get on with your presentation, please.
Okay. The way a democracy is supposed to work is people are supposed to be able to address their elected officials and be heard before a decision is made. That did not happen today. And I hope that homework was done before this decision to not let people speak before a vote was cast. I hope that you did your homework, because I will check with an attorney about the legality of what took place here today. And if it is determined that this was not legal, that it violated the law or the Open Meetings Act or any process that we have on the books, I will be seeing you all in court.
Thank you.
Going to appointments, reappointment of Lori Hopkins and Mark Vaughn to the Buckville Fire Protection District.
Make a motion.
Any discussion? All those in favor, aye? Aye. Appointment of Bernard Hill to Joel Venti to the Henderson Water District for vacancy. I'll make that. Second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Reappointment of Jim Marcelli, George Murphy, and Eric Allison to the Bergen Cemetery Association for a 6-year term in December 31st.
Make that motion.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Motion carried. Reappointment of Martin Jones to the Bergen Crop Protection District for a 3-year term. Any discussion? All those in favor, aye? Aye. Motion carried. Okay, I guess we're going for executive session. Okay, second. All those in favor, aye? Everybody leave the room, please. The camera's gotta come on.
Okay.
Into the motor fuel tax fund, and until they do, he doesn't know how much it is, but that money is in the fund to cover it, it's just bumping up the appropriations so we can spend it.
Do roll call.
Ed. Step down. It's like, wait, what? Armor. Barr.
Yes.
Blank.
Yes.
Dragovich.
Yes.
Dunnigan.
Yes.
Everson.
Yes.
Keel.
Yes.
Kilduff.
Yes.
Clausen.
Yes.
Payne.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Spudich.
Yes.
Star.
Yes.
State.
Yes.
Trevino.
Yes.
Wiggins.
Yes, sir.
Alright, we're gonna put down his absence, so that's 16 yeses, zero no's.
Resolution adjusting e-citation fund appropriation.
Alright, this also came out of finance committee, this would bump up the appropriation for the circuit clerk's e-citation fund by $10,307.50 to cover the additional costs for, training, that should say the additional one-time costs, For training and setup of the new electronic ticket system, there is sufficient funds in the fund to cover that increase.
Motion approved. Second?
Second.
Okay. Roll call?
Same roll call.
Yeah, Wiggins. Yes. Trevino.
Yes.
Staton.
Yes.
Starr. Spudich. Schmidt.
Yes.
Payne.
Yes.
Clausen.
Yes.
Gilduff.
Yes.
Keel.
Yes.
Everson.
Yes.
Dunnigan.
Yes.
Dragovich.
Yes.
Blank.
Yes.
Barr.
Yes.
Farmer.
Yep.
Adden.
Yes.
17 oh.
Resolution, authorizing execution and amendment of 5311.
Pete, you can add into this too, but this is our resolution for the public transportation through the health department. We do this again every year. It just authorizes us to execute a public transportation program, that we're a non-urbanized area, and that we will cover all local matching funds, and it gives chairman the authority to sign, the application.
Make a motion to resolution, pass that resolution.
A second.
I'm sorry, this happened with health department?
Yes, it does.
Sorry.
Same roll call?
Yeah.
No.
Adden.
Yes.
Farmer.
Yes.
Barr.
Yes.
Blank.
Present.
Dragovich.
Yes.
Dunnigan.
Yes.
Everson.
Yes.
Keel.
Yes.
Gilduff.
Yes.
Clausen.
Yes.
Payne.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Spudich.
Present.
Starr.
Yes.
Staton.
Yes.
Trevino.
Yes.
Wiggins.
Yes.
15 yeses.
Okay, resolution regarding copy room appropriation.
Alright, this also came out of finance. Basically, long story short, there used to be an actual copy room with copy room attendant in the courthouse. This budget goes back to those days. It pays for the circuit clerk, general and probate, the treasurer, the assessor, and my office's copiers and paper supply. Just to make things cleaner and easier, this resolution would basically get rid of the copy room budget and then move the appropriate amount of funds to each of those offices' budgets to cover the lease for their machines and the supplies and stuff along with it. So it's budget neutral, it's just basically moving the money to different departments instead of having a copy room that no longer exists.
Motion approved. Second.
Any questions? Roll call?
Same roll call.
Got presents. Wiggins.
Yes, sir.
Trevino.
Yes.
Staton.
Yes.
Starr.
Yes.
Spudich.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Payne.
Yes.
Clausen.
Yes.
Gilduff.
Yes.
Keel.
Yes.
Everson.
Yes.
Dunnigan.
Yes.
Dragovich.
Yes.
Blank.
Yes.
Barr.
Yes.
Armour.
Yep.
Adden.
Yep.
17.
Resolution stating opposition to data centers and their use of natural resources.
Chairman, I would move that we put a 12-month moratorium on this resolution and push it back to the Economic Development Subcommittee for further evaluation for the potential pros and cons, before we, further pass the resolution.
The data center is not in Cooper County, it's gonna be in Sangley County. So our resolution is basically, we want to protect our resources. And why is it going to economical? Cause right now, we're not building one in Cooper County at all. It's Sangley County, and they don't even know if it's gonna go.
Certainly open to what subcommittee, I was making a motion for
Yeah.
the
Could make an
moratorium.
economic impact to the finances of the county.
Can I ask a question? Can somebody please explain to me what a data center is? Cause I have no clue what's going on here.
It is a very large computer room or server room that, like if you're for your phone or anything, that you do your search, you reach to a data center.
Yeah, it goes through cloud storage, I mean, all that's right there in that data center.
Or the AI.
Right.
My understanding is that, you can do a water loop and it uses less water, but
Sure.
the amount of energy that takes is similar to a small city. And,
We kicked it down the road last month.
yeah,
My motion is to, vote on the, you guys don't want it, vote no, but my motion is to vote on the
Moratorium.
resolution as it's written.
The We have
So we
a
have that
motion on the floor
motion,
for a
yeah.
12-month moratorium.
Right, do we have a second for that?
I did.
Yeah, Brian did earlier.
Motion's made and seconded to, put a 12-month moratorium on the, data center. Any questions?
So what you guys gonna get information on, what they're gonna build in Sangamon County?
No.
We, I personally, I'd like to have more information before we jump and just, I mean, I don't think anything's gonna happen
The
tonight or
resolution
tomorrow.
also, the current resolution also encourages us to, notify our state representatives that, we're opposed to it. I don't think we're there.
Yeah, just,
Request a roll call.
Okay. Any further questions?
Okay, so we're voting for a moratorium, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Yes.
You're on the ball. Armor.
Yes.
Barr.
Present?
Blank.
Present.
Dragovich.
Yes.
Dunnigan.
Yes.
Everson.
No.
Keel.
No.
Kilduff.
Yes.
Clausing.
Present.
Payne.
Yes.
Schmidt.
No.
Spudich.
present.
Starr.
Yes.
Staton.
Yes.
Trevino.
Yes.
Wiggins.
No.
Okay. 9 yeses, 4 noes, 4 presents.
Okay, motion carried. Okay, public, ordinances, public transportation, active ordinance.
Very well.
Oh, sorry, just meeting. This is just the ordinance that goes with the resolution that we just discussed, where this is just an ordinance that allows us to provide this public transportation for our service area. And then again, that, chairman is authorized to, file on behalf of Macoupin County.
Any questions? Roll call?
Wiggins.
Yes, sir.
Trevino.
Yes.
Staton.
Yes.
Starr.
Yes.
Spudich.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Payne.
Yes.
Clausing.
Yes.
Kilduff.
Yes.
Keel.
Yes.
Everson.
Yes.
Dunnigan.
Yes.
Dragovich.
Yes.
Blank.
Present.
Barr.
Yes.
Armor.
Yes.
Adam.
Yes.
16 yeses.
Mid-year budget review.
Yeah, I will keep this very short, since it's already been a long meeting. But the main thing to talk about is, I don't know why we're running a little slow. On the expense side, things are kind of right along, normal lines. Some departments are a little bit above the 50% mark, some are a little bit below. But on the revenue side, not counting property taxes, just because I take them out since distributions change from year to year, timing wise. We've brought in 38% of what we had budgeted. But using the same projection process that we use every year, since the budget process is gonna be starting here in a couple months. This year we had 10.4 million, for our projected revenue. Using the same projections that we always do, we're now down to 10.3 million. It's not a huge difference, but it is a decrease. That's before, because I'm not adjusting for, one of the communications is an article talking about the governor's budget proposal has what amounts to a cut in the local government distribution fund for income taxes because it's being held flat. So, I'm not adjusting for that yet because it hasn't passed, but obviously if that were to pass, that will affect that number as well. That obviously would hamper us a little bit in the budget process, since that doesn't include any raises for the folks we already have that are contracted. It wouldn't include any of the new spending that's been talked about. But with the budget coming up here this summer, we're in a tight spot, and it could be maybe even tighter depending on what the state chooses to do when they pass their budget later this spring.
Termination of farm lease north of Carlinville effective October 31st, 2026.
So as we discussed in the last meeting, we are moving to terminate the lease of the ground to be in compliance. We are giving it till October 31st, which would allow him, because he's already working the field, to finish out this seasons of crop, and then, Carl FFA has expressed some interest in taking that on, which again would make us in compliance, because they're a nonprofit. But the committee hasn't fully moved on that, all we're doing is moving to, terminate the lease effective October 31st, and between now and then, the committee will decide how we want to move forward with that ground. And it would work.
As a farmer, I'm a little iffy about the October 31st. If we had a wet fall, he may still be fighting to get a crop out. Is there a reason behind the October 31st, or
That
could
was
it be
the,
November?
so
end of
that was the
November?
original date on the lease, right?
But I don't think we'd have a problem letting him.
Yeah,
finish up
like if
there.
it needed to be adjusted, we wouldn't have a problem doing so, it's just
Yeah,
that was the date that's on the original lease.
You're not-
And basically, we're not renewing.
Yeah,
I think
that's
that-
basically it.
I was getting understanding that has something to do with the, need to let him know for the following year by the 31st, that was more of,
Yeah.
well, it had
There's a
nothing to do with
6 month
the crops running
notification.
Yeah,
around.
if he's still getting corn or whatever he's planting this year, November 1st, we're not gonna be like, oh, too bad, your lease ended yesterday.
Well, it's incumbent on me,
Yeah, no.
to
Yeah.
bring
No,
it up.
Yeah.
that's more than a fair
So,
question, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it had to do with.
Okay, let's just make sure we're playing fair.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
To add a line to the letter saying something to that effect.
If you guys are good with that, I am.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'd move to accept with a additional line.
Do we tell them,
You know,
12-10?
Based on their successful completion of harvest. Yeah.
There you go. That's good.
So the, for crop insurance, the end of the year is 12-10.
Okay.
Oh, we got a crop insurance guy talking now.
Sorry, hey, I just spent a week in school.
All right, October 31st or until the crop is removed.
Yeah.
2026 crop is removed. Okay.
Motion approved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Ed?
Yes.
Armour?
Yes.
Barr?
Yes.
Blank?
Yes.
Dragovich?
Yes.
Dunnigan?
Yes.
Everson?
Yes.
Keel?
Yes.
Tilda?
Yes.
Clausen?
Yes.
Payne?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Spudich?
Yes.
Star?
Yes.
Staten?
Yes.
Trevino?
Yes.
Wiggins?
Yes.
17.
New business, proposal for contracted grant writers available for local government as part of an energy grant.
So part of this year's energy grant, we set aside $15,000 to assist with local municipalities to contract out separate grant writers. Right now, under Joseph's capacity, he is truly just doing, grants for the county. This would allow us to, contract out needs to, potential interested parties in the community that would be willing to help, communities with the grants. We were going to try to come up with some numbers to fill in here. From the people who have told me they were going to come up with numbers, I have not gotten any numbers to put into those blanks.
I know Molly talked to one potential person and
Okay.
like 100 an hour was probably a bare minimum type situation.
Yeah,
But
Is this pressing that we need to discuss, or vote on this tonight, or should
we can table it.
Until we got numbers.
Yeah.
Move to table.
Second.
All those in favor to table the motion?
Aye.
It's tabled. Okay, Vaughn Estate Minor Subdivision.
Mark Vaughn submitted an application for a 4.01 split off his 17.5 acre tract. It's an existing home, no improvements were needed, and he submitted to Tom Reinhardt to forego the improvement plans. Tom okayed that, and then a recommendation was made to bring this here to county board.
And everybody signed off on it?
Correct, yeah, I'll be doing that, and I'll get the signatures from the county board meeting, hopefully after this. Yep.
Entertain a motion for that.
Make a motion.
Okay, any discussion? Let's have the roll call.
Same.
Same.
Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry, that was an old business. Yep, my bad. Wiggins.
Yes, sir.
Trevino.
Yes.
Staton.
Yes.
Starr.
Yes.
Spudich.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Payne.
Yes.
Lozing.
Yes.
Tilda.
Yes.
Keel.
Yes.
Everson.
Yes.
Dunnigan.
Yes.
Dragovich.
Yes.
Blank.
Yes.
Barr.
Yes.
Arman.
Yes.
Adam.
Yes.
Federal funding grant possibility from Representative Kudinski's office.
So Congresswoman Kuzinski's office approached Joseph about a possibility of applying for a capital grant. We did decide that it was going to be, the application was gonna be for public safety improvements. One was for infrastructure needs, one was for possible sheriff's office vehicle replacements. I did speak with, staff, they don't think that we can write in the vehicles into that, but the rest of it should be fine, so we'll be able to move forward, with that, should the board so choose.
It's just an information only thing here. Authorizing chairman to sign letters of support for local governments seeking congressional federal funding. This came up last week in Bunker Hill, when Bunker Hill City asked me to sign a letter of support for them on the alluvial water project. And, as since, they had to have it like that day or the next day, so I wasn't able to give it to them, without running it by the board first. Now I'm just looking to see if I get something like that in the past, if the board would let me sign a letter of support for other municipalities or government agencies grants.
I'd make a motion, yes.
Okay.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, aye? Opposed? Thank you. Certificate, certification and restrictions on lobbying.
This just goes back again to our public transportation, that no funds will be paid for lobbying, and if they did, there would be a disclosure form to fill that out. Is there anything else I need to add to that, Pete?
Motion approved.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Applicant's certification of intent.
This is another one that goes with that.
Oh, I don't, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it's
Help
just.
me out here, I don't know.
Yeah, I think this is just the one where it's, signing off that you're intending, you as a board are intending to apply for the grant.
Okay, just another step in the process.
Yeah.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Acceptance of special warranty.
This is again part of that, isn't it? Yeah. We should have just lumped them all together, but yeah, this is, again, production certification that would meet all terms and conditions of the special.
Motion approved. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Consent agenda. Claims and officers report.
Motion put on file.
Second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ed.
Yes.
Armour. Barr.
Yes.
Blank.
Yes.
Dragovich.
Yes.
Dunnigan.
Yes.
Everson.
Yes.
Keel.
Yes.
Tilda.
Yes.
Lozing.
Yes.
Payne.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Spudich.
Yes.
Starr. State.
Yes.
Trevino.
Yes.
Wiggins.
Yes.
17.
Mileage and per diem.
Motion put on file.
Second.
Same roll call.
Same roll, any opposition, same roll call. Motion passed. Communications.
Motion put on file for all the reports.
Second.
Same roll call.
Same roll call. Motion's made and seconded, let's do it formally, to, put all the communications on file. Any questions? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? On file. Matters of recognition, moment of silence, Mark, passing the board. Two.
was a good woman.
Yeah.
Sure was.
From the moment we walked in the door.
Yes.